Hey guys, okay, so this is your Monday lesson. So we have been talking about absolute value inequalities, okay? We talked about both greater than and less than ones. So we know that if we have a less than symbol, it is going to be going in towards one another. We should also know that in less than, we can't have x is less than a negative number. So that would give us no real solutions. Okay. Then we also talked about, so what, I should have said this. Take out a sheet of paper. What I do on here are going to be some quick notes for today. So pause me if you didn't have a sheet of paper out and get this written down, and then unpause me when you're done. We also talked about greater than, and then greater than symbol, it goes out. So if you notice on this one I did open circles because it's not also equal to. On this one I did closed circles because it's also equal to. And then if we had like x is greater than a negative number, well, isn't the absolute value of, and this is absolute value, isn't the absolute value of any number positive? So wouldn't it always be greater than this negative? So this would be all real solutions. Or it may be infinite solutions. Okay, so then we're going to try 3 examples. So what we're doing today is you're taking what you learned last week or the week before fall break, where we learned how to do less than and greater than, and we're mixing them up. So now you have to figure out, okay, is this a less than problem or is this a greater than problem? And then how do I graph it from there? So number 1, before we ask if it's a less than or greater than, we always want to get the absolute value completely by itself. So I'm going to have to divide by 3 here and divide by 3 here to get that absolute value by itself. Then I'm left with x minus 4, the absolute value of that is less than 4. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So this one is a less than symbol. So this is less than. So if I look over to the side, remember less than goes in towards one another. This one would be open circles because there's not a line under it. So now in order to do less than, we write it the 2 ways. It's actually one way, one sentence. Negative 4 is less than x minus 4, which is less than 4. Okay. Then we go and add 4 to all places to get rid of this 4 in the middle. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0. Is less than x, which is less than 8. And then I can graph it. I have 0 on here, and I have 8 on here. This is an open circle on both. Since it's less than, they go in towards one another. Okay? Number 2. First thing we want to do is get the absolute value by itself, so I'm going to subtract 10 here, and I'm going to subtract 10 here. Absolute value of x plus 3, absolute value is greater than or equal to 11. So at that point, with this, we can say that it is a greater than. So greater than goes out. This one would also be closed circles because of the equal sign underneath. To write this one, we do the 2 ways. So x plus 3 is greater than or equal to 11, or x plus 3 is less than or equal to negative 11. Okay, if you didn't watch the videos or take the notes from the week before fall break, you'll want to do that prior to me going over this. So you'll want to pause me now, go back and do anything that you didn't do that week so you have an understanding prior to this. We're going to subtract 3, so I get x is greater than or equal to 8. Or subtract 3 here, x is less than or equal to negative 14. If I graph this, I'm going to put negative 14 is smaller, 8 is bigger. We have closed circles, and they are going to go out because x is bigger than 8, but x is smaller than negative 14. Okay. Number 3, again, first thing I want to do is I want to get the absolute value completely by itself, so I'm going to divide by negative 6 here, divide by negative 6 here. I'm left with absolute value of 2x. I divided by a negative. Remember your inequality rules. If you divide or multiply by a negative, you have to flip the sign. So this becomes a greater than, and that is negative 2. So this is greater than. Remember, if it's greater than a negative, it's all real solutions. Any number I put in here would always be bigger than a negative because absolute value of anything is a positive. So this would be infinite solutions. That also means, guys, that you wouldn't need to go through all the steps at that point. If you see that, you should know that it's infinite solutions and you're done with that. Okay, so your work for today. What I need for you to do is make sure you've taken those notes. Then I need for you to make sure that you've watched all the videos and all the homework from fall break. And then the third thing I need for you to do is in your pink note packet, I need for you to go to this page. It says 1.2 and 1.3. And what this page is, there's 4 examples on the front. There's 4 examples on the back. This is the page right after the last page of notes we took on Friday before fall break. And you need to complete these 8 problems. Okay? You are going to tear this out and turn it in. This will be due, if you are in class Monday, Tuesday, you're going to tear it out and turn it in first thing Tuesday morning to Miss Carter or the sub. If you are in 3rd hour, you're going to turn it into Miss Carter. If you're in 7th hour, you're going to turn it into the sub. If you are a B-Day person, you are going to turn it into me on Thursday. Okay? I need for you to show all your work on each of these problems. I need for you then to circle your answers and then have the graph. No work, no credit. Okay? So Monday work. First thing, make sure you've taken these notes. Second thing, make sure that all the stuff before fall break you have watched and completed. And third thing, these 8 problems on this sheet. So really, the only work that you have today, if you've been keeping up, is to take these notes and do 8 problems. After that, please work on something silently if you get finished before the end of class, okay? Do not turn it in on Monday. Just turn it in at the beginning of class on Tuesday. And again, no work, no credit. Okay, thanks, guys.